always a learning curve when you build up a new team, especially when you bring in personalities like Carmelo Anthony, Russell Westbrook to a team that has been done that. So it's gonna be painful in the early part of the season, but as the season goes, these guys are veterans. These guys know what it takes to win, and so that they're gonna find a way to win, find a way to make it to the playoffs.
All right, now Tyler, with back-to-back wins, overtime wins for the Lakers, do you think that they can keep this up, that it's sustainable for them?
Oh man, you're asking the right person for that. I think they can. You guys know I'm a Laker fan, so I trust in my team.
Okay.
And I think it's a matter of time for them to just figure it out. I mean, like Isaac said, every new team needs time to gel, and they're not gonna gel overnight. So these wins are big for them. It's gonna boost their confidence, their camaraderie. So I'm excited for what the future holds for them.
Tyler, sticking with you here, obviously no LeBron, and obviously there's also no Jimmy Butler for a big part of the game as well. But is it a worry though, considering the fact that, okay, if this team isn't healthy and if this team is without a LeBron James, that their games are kind of close and really nerve-wracking for Lakers fans out there?
Well, I think it's a mix of both. I think it's a concern because obviously LeBron is such a big part of their team, and obviously you want him 100% healthy, especially going into the playoffs. I know it's a long time from now, but you want your best player to be healthy throughout the regular season as well. But in terms of the close games, I think it's going to be beneficial for the Lakers in the long run because, like I said earlier, it's going to boost their chemistry, their camaraderie, and it's just going to give them confidence to know what to do in situations like that in the future.
All right, now Isaac, moving to the Heat, are you a Laker fan? Just asking, just making sure.
No.
Okay, so moving to the Heat, with Lowry in their team, do you think that they can make it to the playoffs this season?
Like how far do you think they'll go, rather?
Yeah.
I think they're a sleeper pick if you're gonna
okay.
talk about Eastern Conference finalists. They've got a team that's well built in terms of playing defense. They know their identity, and they got some ballers over there. And they've done it. So this team is a little sleeper. They don't have a lot of the sexy names like the Durants, the Embiids. But when you put up a good team together under a good coach, they can surprise people. So I think this team can make the Eastern Conference Finals.
Well, we're seeing whether or not this is going to be a longer-lasting rivalry between the Heat and the Lakers because of recent success, because they faced each other in the finals recently. But let's move on to the most obvious beef happening in the entire NBA at the moment. Of course, if you don't know what we're talking about, I suggest you Google Nikola Jokic and the Morris twins because incredible scenes what happened there. And, we're seeing a lot of discussions going around whether or not Jokic's reaction was warranted. Isaac, because you're a big guy, when a smaller person just blindsides you that way, and again, Morris is still a big guy in general, but then if someone hits you that way, what do you think about what Jokic did?
I really don't blame for what Jokic did, really, because he got blindsided. It wasn't a basketball play. Morris could have tried to foul him by grabbing his arms, but instead opted to tackle him, and then Jokic reacted to that. So I think his reaction was warranted. And I think when Marcus Morris says here, waited till bro turned his back, if you're Markieff Morris, you should know when you hit someone like that, you gotta keep your eyes on him just in case.
Don't turn around. Don't turn around.
Tries to hit you back. So I just like to say what Richard Jefferson said. If Markieff Morris didn't do that, Jokic doesn't do it. So that's that.
Tyler, how about you? Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, first of all, I think Morris's hit was also a cheap shot. So I think Jokic just did the exact same thing that Morris did to him. It just so happened that he turned his back.
Yeah.
So I don't agree with what Jokic did in terms of like winning the game because obviously he's the best player. Sometimes you gotta control your emotions, but at the same time, it's like when someone hits you like that, you can't really, at the spur of the moment, you can't really control your emotions. So I don't blame him at all.
We actually saw a lot of these on social media. Billy and I were just talking about it a while ago. The tweets that came about from the brothers. We're actually talking a bit about whether or not this will have repercussions later on in the season if the Heat and the Nuggets meet up even more. And do you feel that this story isn't over just yet, Isaac?
I don't think so, because even Marcus Morris has some history with Nikola Jokic, and this can, I think, boil over to them as well, and especially being in the Western Conference, they're gonna play a little bit more. So maybe next time we'll be talking about Marcus Morris versus Nikola Jokic.